Welcome back, everyone. In our previous video, we posed a tricky question. What is the main cause of Parkinson's disease? And the correct answer is right-sided colon cancer often doesn't cause visible bleeding. Instead, occult blood in stool is a key early sign, detectable only by screening. Chronic hidden bleeding can lead to iron deficiency anemia and long-term fatigue. Anal pain and vomiting are typically late-stage or unrelated symptoms. If you got it right, congratulations! If not, no worries today. We continue our journey of discovery and knowledge. In recent years, measles has made a comeback in the United States. And when we're not paying attention, a sudden fever, a patch of rash, could be the body's first signal saying, "I need protection." Today, we'll put our knowledge to the test about a disease many thought was long forgotten. Which virus causes measles? Measles is caused by the measles morbillivirus, one of the most contagious viruses known. Just one infected person can spread it to 9 out of 10 unvaccinated people nearby. What is often the first symptom of measles? Measles usually begins with a high fever, followed by cough, runny nose, and red eyes. The distinctive rash appears a few days later. How is measles primarily transmitted? Can you guess it? Leave your answer in the comments, we'll reveal it in the next video. How many days after exposure do measles symptoms typically appear? Measles symptoms usually show up 7 to 14 days after exposure to the virus. This long incubation period makes outbreak tracing and control more challenging. Which vaccine is most commonly used to prevent measles? The MMR vaccine protects against 3 serious infectious diseases: measles, mumps, and rubella. With 2 doses given on schedule, it provides up to 97% protection against measles. Which of the following is a serious complication of measles? Though rare, measles can cause encephalitis, a life-threatening brain inflammation that may result in seizures, coma, or death. It affects about 1 in 1,000 measles cases. How contagious is measles compared to COVID-19? Measles has an R0 basic reproduction number of 12 to 18 compared to 2-6 for COVID-19, depending on the variant. That makes measles one of the most contagious diseases ever recorded. What long-term effect can measles have after recovery? After recovery, measles can cause a condition called immune amnesia, where the immune system forgets how to fight off other infections lasting for months or even years. Which of the following does not help prevent measles? While vitamin C supports general health, it does not protect against measles. The most effective preventive measures remain vaccination and avoiding exposure. Aside from the respiratory system, which organ system can measles affect? In addition to respiratory symptoms, the measles virus can cause brain inflammation and severe neurological disorders. Rarely, children may develop subacute sclerosing panencephalitis (SSPE) years after infection. Is there a specific antiviral drug to treat measles? There is currently no specific antiviral treatment for measles. Care focuses on relieving symptoms and supporting recovery. Severe cases may require hospitalization and intensive care. Which of the following complications is the leading cause of death in children with measles? Pneumonia is the most dangerous and common complication of measles, especially in young children, causing most measles-related deaths in this age group. Which of the following is true about the MMR vaccine? The MMR vaccine is a live attenuated vaccine containing weakened forms of the measles, mumps, and rubella viruses to induce immunity without causing the disease. Besides high fever, what other initial symptoms of measles are common? After a high fever, initial symptoms of measles often include a cough, runny nose, and red eyes, conjunctivitis. Which health organization recommends MMR vaccination for children globally? The World Health Organization, WHO, plays a crucial role in developing and recommending global immunization programs, including the MMR vaccine, to control and eradicate infectious diseases like measles. Why is vaccination so crucial in controlling measles? Measles is one of the most contagious infectious diseases globally and can lead to severe complications such as pneumonia, encephalitis, and even death, particularly in young children and older adults. Vaccines are the most effective tool to prevent its spread and reduce the disease burden. Which age group is at higher risk of severe measles complications? Older adults, especially those over 65, face a higher risk of serious complications like pneumonia, brain inflammation, and even death, especially if immunity is weak or vaccination is incomplete. Why has measles re-emerged in some regions like the United States? The resurgence of measles in the US and elsewhere is linked to people skipping or delaying vaccination, reducing herd immunity. When vaccination rates fall below 90–95%, outbreaks become likely. How can newborns be protected from measles before they are old enough for vaccination? Newborns may receive protective antibodies from their mother if she was vaccinated or had measles, offering temporary protection during the first few months of life. However, this immunity doesn't last long. After receiving the MMR vaccine, how long does it take for the body to develop immunity to measles? It takes the body about 2 weeks after receiving the MMR vaccine to build protective antibodies. This is why timely vaccination is critical during outbreaks. What is one characteristic oral sign of measles? Koplik spots are tiny white dots, like grains of salt, inside the cheeks appearing before the skin rash, and serving as an early diagnostic clue. What is the average measles mortality rate in developing countries? In developing countries with poor nutrition and limited healthcare, the measles mortality rate can reach 1–5%, especially among children and the immunocompromised. When should children receive their first MMR vaccine dose? Children should receive the first MMR dose between 12 and 15 months, and the second dose between ages 4 and 6 for optimal protection. In high-risk areas, earlier vaccination may be advised. Should the MMR vaccine be given during pregnancy? Because MMR is a live attenuated vaccine, it should not be given during pregnancy. Women should receive it at least 1 month before becoming pregnant to ensure safety for the fetus. Do people who had measles still need the MMR vaccine? People who have had measles typically develop lifelong natural immunity, as their bodies produce specific antibodies. However, if unsure, testing or vaccination is recommended for safety. How long can immune amnesia caused by measles last? Measles-induced immune amnesia can weaken the immune system and make it forget how to fight off other pathogens for months or even years, increasing the risk of other infections after recovering from measles. Where does the measles rash typically begin to appear on the body? The measles rash typically appears first on the face and behind the ears, then spreads downwards to the neck, trunk, and finally the arms and legs. During which period can an infected person spread measles to others? An infected person is most contagious from 4 days before the rash appears until 4 days after the rash appears. This is why measles can easily spread even before the disease is diagnosed. What rare complication can measles cause that affects the eyes? Measles can cause keratitis, corneal ulceration, and in severe cases, particularly in children with vitamin A deficiency, it can lead to permanent blindness. Which laboratory test is used to confirm measles diagnosis when necessary? While measles diagnosis is often clinical, testing for measles IgM antibodies in the blood is a common and reliable method to confirm the presence of acute measles infection. What is the average incubation period for measles in days? The incubation period for measles, which is the time from exposure to the virus until the first symptoms appear, is typically 7 to 14 days. How long should women wait to conceive after receiving the MMR vaccine? Because the MMR vaccine is a live attenuated vaccine, women should wait at least 1 month after receiving it before trying to conceive to ensure maximum safety for the fetus. What happens to Koplik spots after the skin rash appears? Koplik spots are a characteristic early sign of measles, typically appearing 1 to 2 Dalton's Ys before the skin rash. Once the skin rash emerges, Koplik spots usually fade or disappear quickly. Which of the following is a rare and late complication of measles, often appearing years after infection? Subacute sclerosing panencephalitis (SSPE) is a rare but fatal neurological complication that typically develops 7 to 10 years after a person has had measles, even after a full recovery from the initial illness. This is another critical reason to prevent measles through vaccination. How long should women wait to conceive after receiving the MMR vaccine? Because the MMR vaccine is a live attenuated vaccine, women should wait at least 1 month after receiving it before trying to conceive to ensure maximum safety for the fetus. Congratulations, you've completed the quiz. Here are your results. What's your level? Drop it in the comments below. Measles can be serious, but with the right information and timely action, we can protect ourselves and the ones we love. Check your vaccination records. Ask your doctor if you're unsure about your immunity. And don't forget to share this video with family because knowledge is meant to be shared, not kept.